It has been nearly 35 years since a Naval War veteran passed away, but just recently his family received a piece of closure, all thanks to someone right here in the Ohio Valley. In a story you'll only see on 9, a bucket of buttons and the power of social media bound two families together from hundreds of miles away. News 9's Gage Goulding reports.
It's the story of a dog tag, a piece of metal worn around a soldier's neck in battle. It's just a little bigger than a quarter, but carries so much more, like the soldier's name, identification, and even a fingerprint. And to one family, they just received a long-lost dog tag found in, of all places, a container of buttons. Meet Sherry Hess, a Shadyside local. This is where the story begins.
I was just at a thrift shop, like I always am.
She came across the container of buttons, a perfect purchase for her soon-to-be 16-year-old daughter, who wants a sewing machine for her birthday. She took the 99-cent collection home to sort through them, but she got more than she bargained for.
We dumped everything out and found the dog tag.
Determined to find the family of the soldier, she took to social media. Within an hour, she already had a connection, a mutual friend introducing her with Moundsville resident Rick Hyatt, who out of the blue got a Facebook message.
And it was a picture of a dog tag of my uncle, Thomas Lee Hyatt.
Rick tells me that he immediately called his cousin Norma, who hopped in the car and made the nearly 300-mile drive from Washington, D.C. to Wheeling, West Virginia to bring home a piece of her father, a Navy World War II veteran. Hyatt served as a Navy gunner's mate in the U.S. Naval Armed Guard. He was born in Grafton, West Virginia, and raised in Bel Air, Ohio. He joined the Navy at the age of 19. His main mission, protecting the Navy's SS Esso Bignon from enemy attack, the ship carrying critical wartime fuel and supplies. After serving in World War II, he enlisted to serve his country again, this time in the Air Force during the Korean conflict. But Thomas wasn't the only Hyatt from the Ohio Valley serving his country. His brothers Oscar, Joseph, and James all served in the armed forces. After serving, Thomas retired back to Bel Air, where he got married and had 2 children, Nancy and Norma. What are your reactions right now holding the dog tag that belonged to your father?
You're gonna get me choked. It's amazing. It's like he wore it for a long time.
The 2 cousins reflect about the kind of man Thomas was.
The guy was a genius. The guy could do anything. He was just an amazing person.
My father was an amazing man. He was a wonderful singer. He quoted poetry, and he had a wicked sense of humor.
Both Rick and Norma say finding a piece of Thomas nearly 34 years after he passed away is something they could have only dreamed of.
And something that you read about and never really think happens to you. And then all of a sudden you're standing here going, wow, it's happening to me.
People from the Ohio Valley are just like that. You know, she would have never thrown that dog tag away. She's going to find out who it belonged to, no matter what it took.
It's just amazing that I was able to be a part of this and bringing this back to the family where it belongs, and I'm just glad it was me.
There's still one question left unanswered. How did the dog tag spend nearly 35 years in the Ohio Valley before ending up inside a jar of buttons? Well, Norma might have the answer.
We're thinking that he had a very nice lady friend who was a seamstress, and we're thinking that maybe she had dropped it in it, and she just passed away last year, so maybe it went its own way and found its way to the thrift shop.
It's a small piece of metal, but talk about how much it means to you.
It means the world to me. It brings me back some of my dad.
Both the Hyatt family and Sherry telling me that they never thought a bucket of buttons would lead them to a lifelong friendship and sharing much more than the material things. Reporting in Wheeling for News 9, I'm Gage Goulding.